Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most twisted and Japanese cult classic that takes you on a wild ride through love, betrayal, and revenge. Brace yourself for an intense drama full of twists as we unravel the dark and scandalous world of the film's protagonist, Akiko. The movie kicks off with Akiko, the main character, waking up alone in a mountain cabin. She's on a desperate mission, searching for her missing husband, Ken, who vanished mysteriously in the wilderness. This opening scene sets the tone for the entire movie: isolation, uncertainty, and a sense of foreboding. We soon learn that Ken's disappearance has deeply affected both Akiko and her father-in-law, Miyamoto. Miyamoto, driven by guilt and a desperate hope to find his son, offers a large sum of money to the search team to continue looking for Ken. Meanwhile, Akiko is torn between hope and despair, unsure if her husband is still alive. As the search intensifies, things take a strange turn. Akiko and Miyamoto, both filled with emotional turmoil, share an uncomfortable bond. One night, in a moment of raw vulnerability, Miyamoto confesses his feelings for Akiko, suggesting that he sees her not only as a daughter-in-law, but as something more. This marks the beginning of a twisted relationship between the two, fueled by guilt, attraction, and grief. Just when you think things couldn't get any more complicated, enter Harakawa, a smooth-talking drug dealer with a shady past. Harakawa has a personal history with Akiko. He was her first love, a lover she thought she had lost forever. As fate would have it, they cross paths again, and their rekindled relationship adds another layer of complexity to the already chaotic situation. Harakawa, however, has ulterior motives. He knows Akiko is vulnerable and emotionally fragile due to Ken's disappearance. Using charm and manipulation, he begins to seduce her, but not out of love. Harakawa has his eyes on something much more valuable: Akiko's wealth and inheritance. Little by little, he weaves himself into her life, all while maintaining a facade of love and care. Meanwhile, the search for Ken continues, but hope is running out. Miyamoto is overwhelmed by guilt and frustration. He and Akiko drift apart, both unable to cope with the growing pressure. Miyamoto becomes obsessed with finding his son, while Akiko, emotionally drained, starts falling deeper into Harakawa's web. In a shocking twist, Ken is eventually found, but it's too late. He has died in the wilderness, a victim of both the harsh environment and the internal struggles that drove him away. His death sends shockwaves through Akiko, pushing her further into Harakawa's arms and giving Miyamoto a crushing sense of failure. It's at this moment that the true villain of the story, Harakawa, makes his move. Harakawa's betrayal. In the final act, Akiko discovers Harakawa's true nature. After Ken's death, Harakawa begins aggressively pushing her to liquidate her assets and leave the country with him. Akiko, initially blinded by her emotions, starts to see through his manipulation. She realizes that Harakawa's affection was never real and that he's been using her for his own gain. The tension reaches a boiling point as Harakawa becomes more reckless. In a climactic confrontation, Akiko, now heartbroken and enraged, confronts Harakawa about his betrayal. She exposes his past crimes, including how he used people and scammed his way to fortune. Harakawa, feeling trapped, lashes out, but Akiko is not the same naive woman he once seduced. The final showdown. In a shocking conclusion, Akiko, driven to her breaking point, decides to take control of her own fate. She sets up a trap for Harakawa, leading him to believe that she's ready to run away with him. However, instead of escaping together, Akiko turns the tables and ensures that Harakawa gets a taste of his own medicine. The final scene shows Akiko walking away from the wreckage of her life, scarred but liberated. The last shot lingers on her face as she looks towards the horizon, ready to start a new chapter. Meanwhile, Harakawa's fate remains ambiguous, leaving the audience to wonder if he truly got what he deserved. Closing thoughts. Madam Scandal, Let Me Die in 10 Seconds is a gripping drama about love, loss, and betrayal. The film showcases how fragile human emotions can be and how quickly they can spiral out of control when trust is broken. The performances, especially by Akiko, are raw and intense, capturing the emotional weight of the story. While the film is undoubtedly a product of its time, with some melodramatic elements, it's a fascinating exploration of power dynamics and the devastating consequences of manipulation. It's no wonder that this movie has become a cult favorite, standing out as one of the most memorable films from early 80s Japanese cinema. If you enjoy dark, psychological dramas with unexpected twists, Madam Scandal, Let Me Die in 10 Seconds is a must-watch. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into cult classics and hidden cinematic gems.